I told you, today's stream or today's didactic chatter is being about Rumpelstiltskin. It's about fairy tales. It's about doing things that you just cannot get done. And I coined the phrase, I need Rumpelstiltskin, because as we know, if you don't know, it's a fairy tale. And basically, a man said his daughter could, my daughter is so great till she can spin straw in his gold. And he was trying to brag to the king. And the king said, well, you know what? I'm going to take your daughter, lock your daughter up. The little troll came, or what, a little imp. And he said, well, you know what? I can do it for you. Turn straw into gold. So basically, that's a fairy tale. But we have many teachers now where we're going back into the schools. We're doing the hybrid learning. You got the kids home. You have your kids in the class with you. You have some kids getting sick. You have some teachers getting sick, because now we're kind of getting back into melting back together. And you got all these different factors going on. And once again, the teachers are feeling like, oh my God, they want me to do too much. The the theme or the idea of, oh my, you want me to turn straw into gold. It's no way some of these teachers or educators or media specialists could do all this. As I stated before, today I'm going to channel all the teachers I've talked to this week. I had a poll on my LinkedIn about the two questions. Let me just regress. Two questions. Do you feel your staff, or do you feel your district or your administration has your back? Do you feel they understand you, or they don't? Yes or no. There was no in between. 100% of the people that answered my poll said that they didn't feel any kind of support. They felt they were overwhelmed. So what you have here is, you have a lot of people who are feeling like, oh, you really, it's coming from the top. You have the district pressuring the principals, pressuring the teachers. Now, it might sound like today I'm being a bit of a disruptor, but change and disruption is what makes things better. And we need to face the fact, as my dad would say, being an ex-veteran, pandemics, it's almost like we're in a war. So things are not normal. You're stretching people. But the thing about what we're doing right now as teachers and educators and principals, we're not trained soldiers. My father told me, in the situation you're in right now, Nick, don't bring any emotions in. Now, that's kind of hard for some of us not to do. It's kind of hard for us to be like, oh, I'm going to think clearly. I'm going to do what I got to do. And yeah, my principal was asking me to do this and this and this, and they want it all done today. I could do this. Many of us cannot do that. And you're pushing teachers to the brink. So they feel like, oh my God, you got me doing too much. Okay, for instance, you have some, because I'm close to media specialists, you have some media specialists I've spoken to in this county and other counties in Georgia. They're doing a lot of troubleshooting. They're pretty much the IT help desk. And they got parents coming in like this, bam, 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 calling, texting. The principals sending them to you. And the principals are some of them are in a state, and NAPs and directors are in a state as if they don't want to make the teachers, no, not the teachers, they don't want to make the parents upset. So basically, they're kind of, should I dare say, they're forsaking the teachers, because they don't want the parents to be upset, because they don't want to lose their population. They don't want their numbers to go down. They're thinking about FTE, and then we got this federal money coming down, so we got to get these kids into school. So you, unbeknownst to the principals, because they're pressured too, you're pressuring the teachers. Now, one way we can help this situation out with teachers feeling like, I'm just doing too much. I've been helping out with tech, and it can be overwhelming. And parents, some of them are not the most understanding. They're frustrated. the principal basically just wants you to just make the parents happy. So in essence, sometimes what happens in a sense, you don't want to do anything to upset your principal. You want them to feel like you are a team player, and basically parents are verbally abusing you. You feel like you're just, being kicked about, metaphorically, because you never would let that happen in real life, but metaphorically, it's true. Mental abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. And you might say, oh my God, are you saying, teachers are being abused? No, I'm trying to say teachers are being treated such a way, not me, no one means to do it, but you just pretty much throwing your teachers out there, and they're at the beck and call of, I got to make sure these parents feel happy. I got to make sure this stuff works. If you're not a tech savvy person, oh my God, some parents will go flip on you. So, and then the principals are just being pressured and this and that. So first of all, I want to talk to the educators, and I want to talk to people who are in decisions of professional development, and the coordinators and superintendents. It's very important at this time. Right now, we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of it. Let's try to just get to the end of this. But you need to have in the back of your mind, you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to do something to make your teachers feel better about the year that's coming up. You're going to have to reconnect. All right. There are a lot of counties now that are offering mental health, and they're offering mindfulness. Mindfulness is a very interesting thing. Mindfulness has two different meanings. I'm a big person, and I actually sometimes read a dictionary, but because you take one word and it'll take you to another word, and it'll take you to another word. So we have mindfulness, and that's a new buzzword now, mindfulness. And I'm not trying to be facetious or sarcastic. I think it's a very good thing. It has helped me. Mindfulness is, sometimes people say, supplicating prayers, stilling yourself, making yourself quiet, calming yourself. Yoga is also one of the components they use in yoga is mindfulness, clearing your mind, becoming calm within yourself. That's mindfulness. There's also another mindfulness. Another meaning for mindfulness is I'm aware of how I'm being treated. That's another form of mindfulness. And teachers are saying, media specialists are saying, paraprofessionals are saying, I'm mindful that it seems as if they're throwing me to the parents or throwing me to the wolves. I'm mindful that parents are just cussing me out every single day. I'm mindful that it seems like my administrators are just adding more, and they're not giving me what I need technology-wise. They're pretty much expect me just to do it. So teachers are very mindful. So there's two mindfuls. There's mindful of I'm making myself calm. I'm trying to stay within my realm. I'm removing the negative thoughts and negative behaviors. And then there's the mindfulness, which most people are going through right now. Yeah, I'm mindful that I'm getting kicked about. I'm mindful that, these teachers, these parents are cussing me out every day. I'm mindful that I don't have the technology I need, but I'm expected to get it done. I'm mindful that I'm teaching kids at the house, and I'm teaching kids in the school. I'm mindful at the point that I'm coming into the school for fear that I might take something back to my elderly mother and father, or my grandparents, or my children, or my spouse who may have a pre-existing health condition, or I'm mindful that I have a pre-existing condition, and the school board is basically saying, you need to get back to school. If you don't get back to school, we're going to start taking your sick days. They won't even allow you to work at home. Now, a lot of this is just political. It's nothing that we can really do about it. That sort of thing, unless you're just one of them really superintendents that, hey, we're not doing this. And there's very few superintendents like that right now. Those are like back in the day when they really took everything kind of personal. This was their schools. This is my county. These are my people. Now things have sadly changed. And after these last couple of 4 years, people really have become very negative. People are really, it's what I want. I don't care what you think. soft skills basically gone. So you're dealing with a lot of that. And then you go in the pandemic and the uncertainty and the should I vaccine, should I not vaccine? It's a lot of things. So what I would say, and I would suggest to most administrators, is the first thing you want to do is get some kind of, I'm not talking about a therapist, but more of professional development. Like I speak of the kind of professional development that we do here at Ultra Didactic. What I like to do is, and what I do is, I give everybody a survey. First and foremost, your teachers need to get a survey so they can tell you what are they feeling, how do they feel they were treated, what do they feel they need going forward. And once I get all that information together, we make a list of what the majority of the problems are, how the teachers are feeling, and from there we give suggestions. As a administrator, maybe that's all you want from us. All I need from you is I need to know the pulse of my school. We do the surveys, we compile the information, we put in a nice report. Here you go. Or once we do these surveys and get the report, we can say this is what we need to do, and my colleagues and I can come to your school or Zoom, and we can work through your with your teachers to make things more cohesive, the relationships, to build those, to mend the bridges between. You'd be surprised. A lot of people feel forsaken by the school board. A lot of people, I've had some really good principals, so they're very kind and understanding. But there's a lot of principals that, this is our job. Like my dad, more like they're like soldiers, more or less, and they're like, hey, we signed this contract. This is what the government expects us to do. Federal government said we're gonna lose money. You're gonna be here. I don't want to hear it. You sign a contract. So you want to allow teachers and your staff members and your assistants and your education, your media specialists to have a say, to come in and say, this is how I feel. This is what I was feeling. And the reason why I like surveys so much to begin with is because sometimes when you just want to go right into a professional development such as this, any professional development really, because I'm one of those people. We go into professional development, if it's not talking about my being or my subject matter, I can sometimes just kind of zone out. And then some people, they really do feel bad, and they're feeling vulnerable, but they don't necessarily want to speak right away. So doing the survey allows you to really find out what's really going on, how people really feel before you go on to say, okay, let's have this staff development on teacher stress. How can we on teacher school relationship, and make it and bring the community back into what education used to be and take some of the business out. I was on LinkedIn, and one of my colleagues and connections on LinkedIn said the problem is now the community has left the school. School has become a business, basically. FTEs is all about that. I gotta get those numbers up, attendance. So in this situation, you want to give teachers a little bit of power back. So I do suggest that before you do any other major staff development going back into school, or you could do it during the summer, I would definitely do something for the teachers. Not anything about curriculum right now, not anything about the new technology. That's going to get done. But if I was planning, if I were you, and you have your leadership teams, you want to say, well, let's start looking for things that maybe that we can work with teachers about how they feel, make how they can deal with stress better. Because another component that our firm uses, we like to use positive intellect, and it's PQs. And it's just a way that people can calm themselves down and focus. CEOs do use this PQ. Fortune 500 companies, a lot of businesses do it, but it's good period for people. And it can really help a person to kind of anchor themselves. It's not like yoga or regular kind of mindfulness. It's more of being aware of your situation and how to calm yourself. Because one thing my father said is true. Once you get when your emotions go out of control, and that's it. So you want to find a way to bring yourself back in and focus yourself. So the first thing I would do is definitely have a professional development in service, whatever you call it, on stress management, how can you, or mindfulness for the teachers, not necessarily what the school board is doing, because that's something you can go to, and they're probably therapists. I'm more of a consultant, and we have background and research my colleagues have done on load margin, which is a just wonderful thing. And I love the survey. The survey, you have to see it. It's wonderful. It goes deep, even go into teachers, their home life. Not in being intrusive per se, but talk about certain things might be going on. And it's all, it's confidential. They don't have to talk about it necessarily. And we get all the information together. As I said, we can just give you the report and say, this is where your staff is, or we can come and do a training with your staff and help them, move on and become more relaxed, more ready to say, okay, we went through the storm and now we're at the end. So that's my first tip. Before you do anything next year during the summer, have a professional development dealing with your teachers or connecting with your teachers about their stress, how they felt, how they feel now. Second thing I would do, assistance. I say this a lot. You've seen some of my streams, my videos. I'm very big on assistance, because assistants, paraprofessionals, administrative assistants, teacher assistants, library media assistants, media secretaries, they are truly important. And if you have them, they need to really be good in working. They need to be actually helping. They shouldn't be stressing or making things worse. So first of all, you need to have a good assistant that's willing to work. You have to have somebody who's willing to work with you. And it's very important that we have those people in the schools, because it's very important, very important. And you need your assistant to do whatever this situation is, this educational situation is, you need to have that person assisting you on board to do it to the best of their ability. Now, I'm kind of techie, but I don't expect any of my assistants to do the kind of tech that I do or troubleshoot. But if you have a good assistant, it will allow you to deal with this, and they can take care of more of the library things. There's librarians that have stacks and stacks of return books, and they're just sitting there because the assistant, well, that's not what I want to do. And that's another thing I want to talk about. You're an assistant. If you're picking and choosing what you want to do, that's just adding more stress to your teachers, to your media specialists, and so forth. You want true assistants. And I know it with budgets the way they are right now, I would suggest, if you can in your budget, you want assistant pre-K through second grade. Now, I know you might not be able to get one in each class, but if you could put two assistants on each grade level and let them, buddy up with certain teachers, just two on each grade level from pre-K is going to get one regardless. Kindergarten may not, but if you could put two on each grade level from pre-K to second, that's a major help. That would be a major help if you could do that. And also, it's important to have an assistant. If they're doing, like, I'm working with this teacher today and I'm working with that teacher tomorrow, you want to keep it inside. That's why I say grade level. And you want to keep it in that school. You don't want your assistants going from this school to that school another day, because that creates a detachment. They really never know what's going on. It's not even really fair to the assistants. I know you want to get that work out there. You want to help your people. You help your certified colleagues. But if it's not working, if it can work, but you're going to have to do some really good interviewing and get some really top-notch people that they could be leaving one school and going to another school, and they actually are being productive and not perfecting their sham. Truthfully, I'm just going to say it. That could be a little icky, a little sticky situation, but it can be done. But you're going to have to do real good human resource and interviewing, and then you're going to have to stipulate these people. This is what I expect of you, and they need to be a coming together of both the media specialist, the library media assistant, the teacher and the paraprofessional. Now, paraprofessionals and teachers, they usually don't have them coming from school to school, but the other assistants, like media assistants and library assistants, sometimes they work at two different schools, and that could be a little sticky because truly you never really become settled. You really can, but you're going to have to put some steps into place for that to work. You're going to really, you can't allow the media assistant, I'm sorry, they are adults, but really they're here to help us. You can't allow them to tell the district or the directors, oh, this is what I did this year for my schools, and don't allow the schools they worked in to say anything. That's not going to work. But it's so important. It's such a wonderful thing. It really is to have a good assistant, a really good assistant. And even if you can't have all my assistants were fabulous. Not all of them, not at all, but they were good. I could say they were average. Most of them never, we never got into any words. When you start getting into words and you don't even hear, and I'm asking you to do something and I want to do it like this and it's back and forth. Nah, you're causing more stress than help. And that's just the truth of it. I'm sorry. But if you have those two things, those are two things that really can help teachers as we move forward. You want to make sure they have a say in their professional development that's personalized just for them. We want to talk about you. We want to do this for you, the person, the teacher. How do you feel? The parapro, how do you feel? The custodian, how do you feel? The media specialist, this is for you. We're not here to talk about the new curriculum, the new science books, the new technology they're rolling out that we got to do now. We're talking about how do you feel, and having good assistance. You want to, if you can, in like school wide, you can find those people that they're a good match, but that's going to take a little effort. And it's just it is what it is, and we're going to have to get to that point. We're going to want to put that little extra effort in it. But that's what people like me come in and consultants, because I can definitely help you with training your assistants. Because with you, what you're going to do as a board, as the school system, is you're going to train them to this is what we expect out of you. What I do is I go deeper. This is how you should act. This is what a media specialist wants from you. This is what your teacher wants from you. This is how your teacher should treat you. This is how your media specialist should treat you. This is how you should be talking with her. This is how she should talk to you and give you respect. See, that's where I come in and take care of those kind of things. So that's another very important thing that you really do want to incorporate and have done. If you can do those two things, I mean, that would be a great thing going forward into the new school year. Because right now, I think we're all pretty much in a survival mode. From what I see, we're just trying to make it to the end of the school year. But we're gonna do it. So that's what we do. We're teachers, we're educators. This is what we do. But we need to be mindful again, and cognitive of what we need to do for our people moving forward. And so that's where I come to you today with. I am so glad you was able to come and have time with me. Like, once again, I would like to say that if you are interested, please, I'm gonna put it down here. Please come to my webpage, ultradidactic.com. You can also leave me a email. My YouTube channel. Please, if you see this on YouTube, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And also subscribe, because when you subscribe, you'll know when I'm getting ready to do another one of my little didactic chatters. My YouTube channel is The Librarian. And that's my YouTube channel. My LinkedIn is ultradidactic.com. Ultradidactic. That's my LinkedIn. Make sure I got that right. Ultradidactic LinkedIn. Or you can search On LinkedIn, Dr. Nicola, Nicola, like Ricola. You won't never forget it. So once again, thank you so much for listening to me. I hope it was helpful to you. I would love to work with you. And hey, we're educators, and you want to feel good about what you do. I feel good about what I do. I chose to do this. This wasn't some second choice. I got my blessing. I wanted to be a media specialist and I got it. And I thank God for it. Has it always been easy? No. But you enjoy it. And if you enjoy what you do, you can make it through anything. So until next time, yours truly, Dr. Nicola Gator. See you next time. Goodbye. Good evening. Or good morning, depending on where you are. And I'll see you next Wednesday at 6:30 right here for our didactic chatter. Bye-bye. Till next time.